You are now listening to Sitting on Business with
Wow.
Matt Stofsky and Brandon Newman.
Professional operation. I mean, we got intro music. You got a microphone that appears to be fully armed.
Strap, baby.
We're ready. Wow.
Like a school Okay, no,
Perfect.
That's probably a bad start.
we'll cut that for episode 1. We might get some clicks.
Oh, man.
Well, hello, listeners or viewers or whatever. I don't
even know. You told me you just spent this last however long sweating looking for a mic that you can't find.
I mean, look at me. Don't I look disheveled? I feel terrible. I was crawling around on my hands and knees with a like one of those headset camping flashlights looking for this podcast microphone that I bought like 5 years ago thinking I would start a podcast. And now that we're starting one, I don't have the mic, so.
To be honest, you just look like you live in New York City.
It just look like a regularly, not even disheveled, just shoveled.
No, Game 5 of the World Series, as you looked at the crowd, it looked like everyone looked like they had just like put out a vice or like put out a cig or whatever, like whatever their thing is. You know what I mean? They just came back from the concourse and to enjoy, to watch the Yankees shit the bed. But like, there's something about New York that screams disheveled.
I get it. Did you see those two dudes rob that foul ball? That was so funny.
The explanation that he said, if you're going to come in our home court, I'm going to play D.
Respect. I mean, I just thought it was such a New York moment where these like two dudes literally mugged this guy. Like one of them was like holding the glove open and the other one takes the ball out.
It never ever happens ever, and the only punishment was not being allowed to go to the next game, which was the last game. Anyways,
yeah,
you were saying that you were running around sweating. I wanted to tell you that T-minus 40 minutes ago, I was violently throwing up outside of my gym at my home. What is it called? I don't know. Like neighborhoods have like a place, a number, or like...
Yeah, like a rec center, like a community center?
Yeah, community center is
community
what the shit's
center.
called. I decided in November I was going to do 3 days a week.
It's good.
I'm going to go from not working out for at least 2 months. I like to blame the hurricanes. You can't work out with the hurricanes. And... yeah, so I just did the best I could. But the problem with me working out is I can't like take it easy. Like my athlete brain is like the only way to get better is to like Dragon Ball Z Goku kill yourself and then like regenerate with a sensu bean. And because of that, I was like tapped out and walked outside and just was throwing up violently and then laid down on the ground. And I was like, all right, let's get to this podcast.
I mean, at least that's a great opening story. Just to set the tone for sitting on business.
Right. Sitting on business.
We're the kind of dudes that are gonna... I mean, that happened to me. I mean, it was... You're old enough now where it's okay to throw up after a workout. I remember puking on the subway on the way home from, like, one of those social basketball leagues. Like, we went out for pizza afterwards, and the combination of, like, a full court run and, like, 3 slices of New York City bar pizza was too much, and I just... had to get off the subway before my stop and go to a trash can. So you were just puking like in the bushes?
Just in the grass. And also, by the way, basketball is the reason why I'm even doing this really, because a guy I ran into at the community center who was playing basketball with my kids, and he was playing with his kids, said like, hey, we have a basketball league that we do on Sundays.
It's amazing.
And this was like right before the last big hurricane. And I went and I subbed myself out so many times. Like the guy who was like waiting to go next had no idea he'd be playing so much. Like, and the reason was that I felt I was on the verge of vomiting, and I was like, and then like my knee bothered me, so I just got a knee brace on Amazon, and I was like, I need to get in better shape before I ever touch the court again. And lo and behold, at the gym tonight, I ran into his wife, and I didn't say anything because I'm sure she heard the stories of how many times I subbed myself out in a matter of 7 different games.
I'll just picture you like tugging on the jersey, and there's no coach waiting to sub you out. You're just like, yo, I need a blow.
tapping on, like I would, like Carter and Mac were there, so I was like, at times I was like blame my kids. I was like, hey, what y'all doing over there? Hey, y'all, somebody give me so bad. But anyways, sitting on business. This is the new iteration of this podcast. We don't know what the fuck we're going to be doing precisely. We do want to be clean, so I'm sorry for saying the F word. Actually, I don't know what we want to do. But
yeah, I was like, that's news to me. Like, do I need to?
No,
I need to watch it.
No,
I feel like
we don't.
We're not, super vulgar. I feel like just the occasional. It might come out, but it might slip out. Yeah, who knows what we'll
You're gonna say
say.
the occasional. Yeah, I mean, depends on what we keep at the top. I already kind of stretched the boundaries, but okay. Here we go. I think we should start by laying out our relationship, our friendship.
Yes.
And like why we even think we want to parlez-vous anglais.
We.
Yeah. Over the waves.
Yes, totally agree. And also, yeah, I mean, we got to talk about the hurricane. I think probably I haven't really gotten to see you since you guys had to leave the state of Florida. But yeah, we'll get to all that, and then we'll get to our names. We got 9 potential names to discuss. That'll be thrilling for listeners, I'm sure, hearing us talk about stuff we should have talked about offline. But
no, yeah, they're part of the process, and I'm trying desperately. You're trying to find the mic. I'm trying to find the mute button on here because I have all kinds of things that are popping up. I'm drinking a liquid death with some bubbles in it, so I feel like belching. Is this?
You're on burp watch. You're fully.
I found it.
Nice.
I found it.
Right. We got to just let them know who we are.
Well, no, wait a minute. Well, here's the thing. Did you know that you introduced me to podcasts?
That's hard to believe. I hardly even listened to any.
Okay. It is hard to believe because, and every time I say this a lot, and Michelle, my wife, is always like, I introduced you to podcasts, you stupid shit. Like, and to be fair, it was like during, it was like 2013, it was during the This American Life, and that Ahmed, you know what I'm saying? I'm Ahmed Saeed? Is that his name?
Yes, Adnan. Yeah.
Adnan. Serial. Yes. This American Life Serial podcast. That was hot in the streets.
Yes.
Michelle put me on. I was listening to it. And I was like listening to it, commuting from South Orange, New Jersey. Bose, shout out. You've been to that studio apartment back in the day. And back when I could play a full game of basketball. And then we were working. We were working together as pages at the Late Show with David Letterman.
I guess the details will just find their way into the mix.
Yeah. And during that time period, you had, I think it was in the locker room, these boys' locker room, girls' locker room. It was just filthy, like right next to the like security guards' locker room. All kinds of scents and smells. I mean, we had meetings about, hey guys, take your uniform home and wash it. Like, this is where we were at in life. And you and Chet Golay were telling me about comedy podcasts. And at the time, which is very funny to think about, but Joe Rogan was an interesting one to start listening to and get you into, like, what a podcast is.
Definitely.
And the interesting people that are on and all this stuff like that. And it was a series of, like, listen to people on different podcasts, and then they put up their podcast and me jumping to their podcast. And I attributed all of it to you because you were a what is the term for, like, someone leading people to something, like a Sherpa?
I was gonna say prophet, but I'll accept Sherpa. I was thinking more like Isaiah or something like that.
You're talking about, like,
Sherpa.
Yeah, you're like, the written word. I'm talking about physically guiding, the leading hand.
Yeah, Sherpa. I'll take that.
Yeah, but yeah. So you led me to like listening to funny podcasts, but also like people talking about being funny.
Yes,
I guess in audio form. But you say you don't even listen to podcasts.
But that, if I were to, that is the stuff that I always liked. I used to listen to Pete Holmes' podcast a lot. You Made It Weird.
You Made It Weird.
I love all that, and I know you like it too. And we're definitely going to talk about some of that stuff over the run of this podcast. Just like the craft of comedy, the inside baseball stuff that might be interesting to a few of you out there. or maybe more than a few. And yeah, I used to listen to WTF a lot, sort of a similar deal, but specifically the ones with comedians.
Oh, yeah.
Like I wasn't like in it for like the Obama episode, but like the ones with some
No.
random comic. You know, that's the good stuff.
But that's a really good point because it's been so long that I forgot about Mark Maron's WTF.
I know.
But I remember listening to it along the slew of what you're talking about, just like people listening to podcasts. And when Obama came on, I remember getting shots up in South Orange in the basketball court around the corner from my apartment, listening to the podcast, and then just deciding to go to Red Bank, New Jersey to see Mark in concert, or not in concert, do a stand-up special. And it was like obviously fresh off the Obama episode, so he talked a lot about that. But it was what the podcast? What the fuck? Now it's just like, I mean, aside from the fact that it's like been the job that I've had in sports media for like the last 7 years, it's just like this whole. I like to say it's a weird thing because it's in its infancy and also in its prime.
Totally. It's so true. And I mean, yeah, you've had a career in radio and podcasts and media and sports media specifically. And it's time to step out of the shadows and into the limelight.
Amen.
This is it.
Amen. As I'm opening up my wife's iPad to check on the tied Monday Night Football game with the Buccaneers without Mike Evans or Chris Godwin.
I can't even hear about football right now. Seahawks absolutely fell apart yesterday against the Rams. Did you see any of those highlights?
Yes, I mean I was red zone, so coming in when I could, but when Chris Hansen or Scott Hansen, when they tell me to, Chris Hansen is the child molester guy. Yes, I mean, yeah, okay. So I probably sorry, excuse,
yes.
My bad, Scott.
All right, so we've hit school shooters, child, right?
Well, an attempt.
Yeah, you sound like a lawyer.
He doesn't let it happen. He doesn't come in afterwards. But getting back to the podcast. So WTF. You also, as a stand-up comedian, I don't know how you classify yourself, and it's probably in the real world. Go ahead.
I don't know either. Former comic, I guess. I always say some like really lame shit, like in a previous life, I used to do that.
In the previous life, I used to open for Louis Anderson.
Yeah, that's more like episode 2
stuff. That sounds like more fake. That sounds
fake.
Like it actually didn't happen.
And I gotta be careful what I say because he's a legend, but he was always like, he was really nice to me, but he was always like kind of weird to me too. So I guess we'll spill the beans in a future episode.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe not give it all up for 14 minutes in.
I guess the dream is to get popular enough that we get in trouble.
That is true.
So we'll
as
see.
Tony Hinchcliffe, the only way for a comedian to excel is to get canceled and then come back stronger.
I never really thought he was that funny, and then just to like see him pop up in the news with like, and honestly, like it's kind of like the Dave Chappelle school of thoughts. Like if you're gonna be offensive, or like South Park, maybe like you got to be like really funny. It was just like not even a joke really about Puerto Rico. It's like, what are you doing? Like, that's just mean and awful.
Okay. Do you listen to WTF? Not WTF. Kill Tony.
No, I've like started being served a few clips like on YouTube, but otherwise like no.
Okay, so a friend, once I start like putting stand-up clips on YouTube or on like Instagram, a buddy of mine from Louisville, it keeps coming back to basketball, who used to play basketball with, told me I should listen to this podcast, Kill Tony, because it's about. By the way, you can use your mic button too. I saw you just swallow
I just muted.
Burp.
I just muted.
Oh shit! There you go.
And
hey, look at you talking about me being a professional.
I don't even have any bubbles. I have no excuse. Just my own like acid.
Yeah, just the New York City air. Look, I did cough. So he told me, he's like, you should listen to this Kill Tony thing, and it honestly was like the best. It's a testament to like, if you are interested in something and want to do something, like you kind of got to do it loudly so you can get some help
Yeah.
like get some people to like kind of like steer you in the right direction, like good or bad.
Yeah.
But once I started listening to it, I'm starting getting on the scene here in like South Florida, the Sun Coast or whatever, like Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota, and all these comedians are all listening to it. And not only that, there's comedians that like I started out with that now I like hear on random episodes of Kill Tony that have moved to Austin
Mm.
and like work at the mothership is where where they have the Kill Tony show. I guess people should know Kill Tony is a podcast, if you don't know, hosted by Tony Hinchcliffe, the person that is famed now for saying Puerto Rico is a floating pile of garbage, and he had a bunch of other
Again,
jokes in there.
where's the joke though?
I,
It's like that's my problem with
I
comedy now is like it's just people being like, yeah, here's some mean dumb shit I thought of, and because I'm saying it in the context of comedy, it's automatically a joke. And I'm like, no, it isn't.
well,
Like,
the weird thing about him is like all of it. He's like an insult guy or whatever, roast guy. He did a great job roasting Tom Brady in that Tom Brady roast. Some of those jokes actually Tom Brady told him to chill on. But the it all sounded like rhetoric you would hear. But recently, since the election's been going on, he's been getting a lot more political and a lot more like Trump is good, Kamala's bad, like on air, and it's so ironic and funny that he went to the Trump rally and could possibly be one of the reasons why Trump loses the election from just like losing like I don't have to tell you, Matt, saying something negative about Puerto Ricans in New York City is I don't really know. I don't know what a good comp is. But I don't know what a good comp is. But there's a lot of Puerto Ricans there, and they all use the N word. And
yeah.
I just like you just can't mess with that group.
which I believe you told me is the exact profile of the owner of your local comedy club.
Yes,
Puerto
yes,
Rican dude from New York.
in St. Pete. But
Right,
yes,
right, right.
he do that. He be doing that sometimes. But yes. So, anyways, and on Kill Tony, random comedians that are in the area. Austin, Texas. It's in Austin, Texas, where Joe Rogan does his podcast, and a lot of comedians have moved down to Austin, Texas. It's like the new scene. New York City thought like it was never going to not be the scene for it, which it still is. But there was no other location in the United States where you could do multiple sets a night every night, and now Austin, Texas is that. So people move there, comedians go there to have shit jobs and live in filth and try to make it big, right? by just getting more reps in, right? So anyways, so you get people that go in there and they bomb, and then people go in there become stars and change their lives, and then there's regulars that each comedian can only do 60 seconds worth of content of jokes, and then there's a popular comedian that comes on as a guest, and then they basically roast the person and critique them, give them actually good advice. So as someone who's interested in comedy, as somebody who's actively a comedian, a former life comedian, it's very interesting to see the formula of the thing, and then also like the art of like trying to make as many jokes into a 60-second window as possible. So it really is like good like research, if you will, and that's the avenue that he's created. And the episodes are like at least a month in advance back, so like it's gonna take some time for us to get an episode where he addresses whatever happened. They do it every Monday, so who knows, we may hear a month from now him say, okay, maybe I effed up, or he'll say everyone's soft and everyone's pussy and I made a funny joke and nobody laughed. And there's dangers to doing comedy not in a comedy club.
No doubt. I mean,
not dangerous,
just like,
but like
I think what could be funnier than Donald Trump? You know what I mean? It's like you're opening for the funniest fucking dude of all time.
He's a comedian. Yeah, you're opening for a comedian, but there's a way that he does comedy that he's like serious. Like you gotta. No, I'm not going to get into that, but I do think that it's interesting now that it's on a spotlight, because oddly, like stand up is like, I don't want to say the biggest it's ever been, because I'm like, cause I'm in it now, but like it feels like there's a lot of inertia around stand-up comedians in general. Like obviously there's
Yeah.
the most like Netflix specials ever from stand-ups, but that's just like time as
And the
well. But
YouTube specials, that's like a new phenomenon. People just dropping an hour on YouTube. Like, that's cool. I
yeah,
like that.
and Andrew Schultz kind of kicked that off too.
But that's the thing. Like, all the biggest, like, tour, touring comics and ticket sellers are all these, like, kind of like, un-PC, like, it's Joe Rogan, it's Hinchcliffe, it's like Tom Segura, and it's like all these dudes who are like, is that what comedy is? Is like, do you have to say like the meanest shit you can think of? Like, it makes me wonder just like about some sort of like philosophy of the art of it all. Like, what, I don't know. It's just, it's these dudes who are like dominating the market. And I heard these people, okay, so I went to the beach with my parents the other day out on Long Island, and it was the middle
That
of the
sounds
day.
cute as shit.
It was nice. Beautiful beach. Jones Beach. Huge state park. I'd never been there before. And, it's the middle of the day, so it's just like a bunch of retirees. And I overhear some old people sitting around on some folding chairs, and I didn't know exactly what they were talking about, but it became pretty clear. They were like, back in the day, you could say anything and nobody would be offended. And it was right after the Tony Hinchcliffe stuff, so they must have been talking about that. And I'm like, I don't really think that's true. Like, people have this warped view of the past. It's like, you're just saying that back in the day, a bunch of white people could sit in a room and say anything about anyone, and all the white people would laugh. And it's like, now that other people are allowed in the room, maybe it's less funny. But they're like, no, everyone's a fucking pussy. And I'm like, are they?
Yeah, like or people are feeling brave enough to like voice their issues. Like for me, growing up in Louisville, Kentucky, with around a bunch of white kids that look like Jack Harlow and sound like Jack Harlow, like I had to stomach a lot of the N words that I didn't want to hear from those pigments. Like I just didn't. It didn't feel good. But I was just like, niggas be crazy. You right, Tommy?
I honestly don't think you could have picked a funnier name for that punchline right there. For some reason,
Literally
Tommy
just my
worked.
first white friend. That's just what his name was. And my brother's was Casey.
Casey's good. Wow.
Oh, Tommy and Casey.
I don't know. Things have just gone in such a weird direction. And it's like comedy is like the site of the culture war. It's like ground zero of the culture war.
So it's fun. It is, but it's also, I do feel like there's a space to. You see that Anthony Jeselnik clip that was floating around after the.
I don't think
that. Basically, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna pull it up. But
I've always liked him though, because he's like he. There's like a flip to it. You know what I mean? He's like not those other guys. There's like some.
But from someone outside looking in, they think that's the same comedy.
Yes.
Right. Like and so I'm a father. So I have kids that I'm around my kids' friends' parents, and like care like bonding, like chemistry building things for like the parents to kind of get together with, right? Mm-hmm. So at one of these things, I say that I do stand-up comedy, just to try to flex and get people to talk about something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people were like, oh, I go see, blah, 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 I go see. And I was like, I go see that one guy. He's so funny. What's it? Fluffy? What's his name? I was like, yeah, Iglesias. Yeah, okay. But anyways, actually, I don't even know his name. And then somebody was like, oh, we love Tom Segura. Tom Segura's so good. And I was like, yeah, he is actually really funny. I said, he's like one of my favorite, like, edgy white comedians. And I said, in 2024, when I say edgy white comedian, I mean white guy who says the N-word on stage. So like I kind of called them out a little bit by saying like this is like the guy you love is also the guy who's still dropping the N-bomb. He doesn't. He's more smart than that. Like I do think that he is like he's very popular for a reason because he's good. But
he's good.
Definitely I would say that since he started having kids, he's leaning more on that stuff than he is leaning on the I don't know, shock and all type of stuff. But I just downloaded it here. Listen to Anthony Jeselnik describe what he thinks about this stuff.
Is
Okay,
to get
I'm
in
sorry.
trouble. It's like, and all these comics now, it's like almost the point is to get in trouble. It's like, why are you giving me shit? I'm a comic. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. That's wrong, as far as I'm concerned. Art.
Oh wait, say it again so I don't miss it.
People think like, oh, as a comic, your job is to get in trouble, and so, but they don't want to get yelled at. It's like it's okay to make people mad, but they don't want any pushback, and I think that's wrong. As a comedian, you want to make people laugh. This is a quote attributed to Andy Warhol that I love. It's just art is getting away with it. You know, if you put out a special and everyone's pissed, like you didn't get away with it. You know, you need to make everyone laugh that they're like, yeah, he talks about fucked up stuff, but we're all happy. That's art. Otherwise, you're just a troll.
Hilarious that it was Theo Vaughn doing the interview, which I wasn't expecting. I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this Jesselnick commentary, and then it's like, oh, there's the guy that just interviewed Donald Trump for 3 hours about like doing heroin or whatever.
But Theo Vaughn, I feel like he's not what we're talking about at all. But he's very much a like Southern mentality guy. So he's always like kind of leaning towards the garbage man's mentality. Like he's never like he's in these rooms, but he's always like bringing this like I said, he reminds me a lot of the white guys I grew up with. Just like the funniest of them, you know what I mean? Like just saying the wildest, craziest things, and it's just like, yeah, bro, like, and so like, but yes, he does. He had Trump on, but he, of all the Trump interviews that I've tried to sit through, his was the most tolerable because he was just so left brain with it, and Trump had no idea how to follow him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a fine line to walk for sure, and especially me being like a black comedian, aspiring out here in Florida, like I'm definitely like trying to make these 50-year-old white people laugh, and by that, like I'm saying some stuff that maybe some black people might look at me sideways for. But I've also, when I get a chance in the black rooms, I try those jokes out to make sure that they're, you know, not necessarily on up and up, but like still can make all the like I want my material to work in 80% of the rooms. So just, you know, trying to do that stuff. But there's definitely a fine line. But I think what he points at is like it is the getting away with it sounds like you're still doing something inappropriate on purpose. I guess you are.
You
but
totally
like,
are. And I like that description of it. That like you. It's because it's kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like you were so good at it and so funny that it actually transcended offensiveness and just became like art or some like, you know, high-minded idea of like free speech or something that wasn't like necessarily harmful to people, but actually maybe like shined a light on something or actually said something real or I don't know. But saying Puerto Rico is a garbage island is like, dude, like. That's like a setup for a joke. You know what I mean? And then you do the magic where you make it funny and like an actual commentary. He just like people are treating like premises as conclusions, and it's like, where's the craft?
Yeah, he said some things in that I thought were more along the lines of his normal rhetoric in comedy. Like he said, "Oh look, there's a black guy in the crowd. I know him. He's my friend." We carved watermelons before we got here. Obviously around Halloween season. And then there was another one who's like, Beyonce, this, that. The DNC's looking more like a Diddy party than, you know, whatever. So like these are the things that are off color that might work in a room in Texas or, you know, wherever he's doing his, or honestly, it's just like the people who like him because he's been doing it for so long. You know how it is with these comedians. Like you do it for so long, people are just following you for you. They just want to hear you say whatever the hell you want to say.
That's what we're hoping for with this podcast.
Honestly,
come along for the ride, everybody.
Speaking of. Let's talk about the names of this podcast.
Let's talk about names. So, we literally didn't discuss any of the shit we laid out up top about our origin story, but it'll come out. We got some little moments.
You showed me. You took me on our first stand up set, my first open mic, and it was I was very appreciative, and it was that'll come out later. But yes, we're good friends. I think that's
we live in different cities. That's some important context. And we have been talking about this for a while. Now we're finally getting it off the ground, but we just couldn't settle on a name. That's what brings us to our current segment. We started out, it was going to be Sitting on Business, which I still like.
I honestly, okay. So what we're going to do here is we've both come with 5 different names.
Human soundboard. You don't need all this fancy Riverside studio. We just got.
We both come with 5 names, potential names for this podcast. And what I was thinking, Matt, is that these basically we got like bracket style. Like, what is going to beat out Sitting on Business?
Yes, that's the one.
I really do like Sitting on Business as a podcast. I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny. I think it's a jab at the Gen Zers, but also like, hey, look at us, we're in the know, sitting on like, and also like we're just kind of like as people who like the scene of late night stand up comedy, like sitting around and doing bullshit and it being business is kind of like that's the dream.
Yeah,
you know,
totally agree. I mean, yeah, we're not that serious. I mean, I was literally just watching Real Housewives with my wife the other day, and one of the, you know, they do like an opening, they have like a little catchphrase at the beginning. You know about that?
Oh yeah, yes.
One of them was like, I do something and I do something else and I stand on business. I'm like, wow, it's everywhere. And it's just the exact opposite of what we're all about, which is having a good time, taking it all too seriously. I mean, we're talking about, like, how could you like talk about Donald Trump and Hitler and like be serious? I mean, did you see that clip of him? I'm sorry. I know. By the way, we're recording this the eve of the most consequential presidential election in living memory.
Oh my gosh,
that's hard to believe.
I didn't think about that.
There was that Trump quote where he's like, everyone's saying I quoted Mein Kampf. I didn't. I said it in a totally different way. And it's like, okay, so you didn't quote Mein Kampf, you just paraphrased it? Like, it's like when I was teaching high school, it's the same excuses that the students would be like I didn't, I just kind of, I made it, I said it differently. And like, you didn't really. You just put it in ChatGPT and then changed like 5 words. But I don't know why. Okay.
I'm sorry, but no, I'm sorry. I can't get over how good your Trump was.
Was that a good Trump?
I thought it was a pretty good limited fake Trump. Okay,
limited fake Trump.
Give me.
That's actually one of my names that I'm suggesting. LFT. We're selling LFTs on the blockchain tonight. All right.
I want to hear more Trump. Maybe. Okay.
Might come out. I used to.
That's what I'm gonna try to do.
Anytime anyone accidentally says "come." I hate to just reference another comedy thing, but I was watching John Oliver the other night, and he was like showing some clip of some people talking about the election or something, and this kid was wearing a T-shirt that said "Don't bully me or I'll come," and I just thought it was just the best shirt I've ever seen.
That is like, so funny.
Did he make that custom, or was that available on the web?
Yeah, it's don't like bully me or I'll come. Yeah, it's like I'm like, okay, I was about to go somewhere else with that, but no, it's great. Okay, I've since remember I said I had 4, but I have 5. Okay. So and you say you don't love all of them, so let's ping pong. Let's go back and forth.
Because what I'm hoping is that like maybe the name we suggest won't be the one, but that it'll lead to the right place. Okay. Well, we'll see.
Okay. Talk to me.
All right. Number 1, cracking up.
Cracking.
Now that I've said it out loud, I cannot believe that I was considering that as an option. Because I was going for like, okay, it's funny, but also like, we're crazy. It's a crack up.
Listen, if Sitting on Business is like an ode to the Gen Zers, cracking up is an ode to the Boomers.
No doubt, it literally sounds like I don't even know, like a Richard Pryor special or something.
Cracking up, I love it, and since you started off with what I'm hoping is your worst one. I'm gonna give you mine. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Try not to bend over. Okay. So here's the thought of it. So I think You Should Leave is a very popular comedy show, sketch comedy show. Yes, and I think it breaks all the rules in a very real way, even when it comes to like naming things. Like it's such a long title
Yes.
that I'm very interested in it working just because it's good.
I like
And
that.
I'm not saying that that's where we're at, but I do like the concept of like a very long try a sentence. Try
I
not
like
to
it.
bend over.
It sounds kind of like some
But I
sort
don't
of
know why I
like
said that.
prison advice podcast. Like we're gonna tell people how to like survive their 5-year bed in state prison.
I was thinking more so of like a life alert thing, like it's like a geriatric, but like I said, bad. Okay,
I like
your
it.
turn.
And I like, see, this is pushing us in new directions, because I also like the idea of a name that's like a little too long and shouldn't actually function as a name, but somehow does. I like that.
Okay,
So
okay.
we're still this is the process that
That's the longest one I have though, so we'll
Okay.
have to come up with something else.
all mine are like weirdly short. All right, number 2, and this one is, it's not going to work in writing because it has to be said out loud. It's number 2 is alley oops.
Alley oops.
Because we're throwing each other lobs. We're Shaq and Kobe in 2001, and oops,
I don't hate it.
there's a little oopsie in there.
Can I? I'm a little bit dyslexic. Actually, wait a minute. I like say that I'm a little bit dyslexic because there's some evidence to it. But today, Carter, my 4-year-old, had a parent-teacher conference, and during this parent-teacher conference, where this teacher and her aide are telling us about our son, and we're talking, comparing notes about what we see at home, what we see there. Everyone's saying he's great. He could be close to reading soon. X, Y, and Z. Michelle just very casually was like, "Well, Brandon, you're a little dyslexic, so maybe Carter has a little bit." I said, "Bitch." I obviously didn't come up with the B word.
Naturally.
I'm trying not to say that word anymore. But I haven't talked to her about. I cannot believe she told Miss Beers that I get Wednesday and Saturday mixed up.
That's
sometimes.
a private. That's just for the two of you. That can't leave the house.
Okay, but anyways, back to this. You know what? Speaking of not speaking of, but Kanye, family business. Like, you don't let everybody in our family business.
Honestly, is the name family business is kind of good.
Ooh, I do like. Okay, so wait a minute. What's oops? All right, I just want to know how to spell oops.
I was just spelling
ops.
Ali Ops. That sounds like some sort of like a Muslim rapper. Ali Ops.
Ali Ops is a good. That's DJ Khaled's first DJ name.
That's good trivia. A lot of people don't know that. That's some you only know that if you live in Florida.
Do you know what it actually was?
No, I can't wait to hear that.
It was I think it was Arab Attack or Arab Air Attack or something like that.
I dig it. Arab Air Attack?
Then it was Arab Attack. Then 9/11 happened and he changed it to DJ Khaled.
And that made him the man he is today. 9/11 is responsible for DJ Khaled's success.
What a weird butterfly effect. Okay, but anyways, no, seriously, how do you spell oops?
Yeah, everyone talks about the Patriot Act, but nobody talks about DJ Khaled changing his name and getting famous. I was just spelling it OOPS, but I'm open to any conceivable spelling.
That's how the English dictionary probably would spell it. I'm in notes, so they usually don't give you the little squiggly red line.
No, they don't. They'll let you say anything in there.
Yeah, they'll let you mess it all the way up. Okay, so I have cracking up in alley ops. Oops. See, the dyslexia may be real. Okay.
Do you want to hear my favorite ever joke about dyslexia that I read in a joke book when I was like 5?
Absolutely.
It's did you hear about the dyslexic devil worshiper who sold his soul to Santa? Come on.
So good.
That's the thing. Those like jokey jokes are just the best.
Good.
Like that's like a
that is so good. Okay, here's one of it's my favorite. It was like a kid jokey joke book. And it is my favorite joke and Michelle hates it, but it is so funny to me. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Ask me, am I a fire truck?
Are you a fire truck?
No, I'm a human. Fire truck. Oh, that's so good.
That's like an innocent. That's like a really like innocent Tony Hinchcliffe joke.
Ask me, am I racist? No. I hate people of color. Okay.
Oh, wait. Speaking of, okay, quick interjection. Just reminded me that this thing that I've always thought is so strange. So I was teaching high school, right, for a few years, and I stopped because I hated it. But
what subject, Matt?
I was teaching high school English. So, we were like reading a lot of stuff about like, identity and like, all the stuff that kids love learning about.
Yes.
Yeah. They've been hearing about identity since they were like 5, but I had to shove more of it down their throats. But they, instead of saying people of color, all these kids, and it was like I would say majority Latino students, black kids in the mix, few Asian kids in the mix, few white kids in the mix. But every single...
Where in New York?
This was in Long Island City in Queens, public high school.
Oh.
So, like, kind of a bougie neighborhood, but it was not necessarily...
Yeah,
LIC, high-rises, $8 lattes, the scene. But kids would come from all over the city, so it was not just, like, rich kids from this rich neighborhood. But every single kid, instead of saying people of color, would say colored people.
Now, let me tell you, Matt, I have always been on Team Colored people.
Okay.
I've always been on Team Colored because it's the most accurate description.
That's a good point.
It's like we're not like all these black people aren't black.
No doubt.
Right? I think it's more like the American English language like connotation, like the saying this without saying it is like Black Hat is the villain in the cowboy movie. Like black is associated with negativity, wrongness, being in the red. Obviously, it's a different color, but like I think colored is a more accurate description of what we know as black people. But I do love also as a comedian that it sounds back like wrong. I love that I like the thing that sounds wrong.
But this is such a perspective shifter for me because I was in there thinking like that it was just kind of strange and like ironic in some way that like all these kind of like woke progressive teachers are like people of color are facing severe or whatever, and then these kids are like, man, colored people are like, and I'm like, okay, like maybe language isn't as important as like the left has made it out to be, or maybe maybe it is. I don't know, but I think you're right. It's more accurate. It's definitely more accurate.
I'm writing down the coloreds as a potential option at the bottom.
Because there's already, it's too bad because there's already a podcast that I don't listen to, but what's it? I think it's Kurt Metzger and somebody else, and it's called Race War or Race Wars.
Oh,
it's
I
like
don't know.
Sherrod
Actually,
Small. I think I don't know if they're still doing it, but
I know those people, but I don't know that podcast. Yeah. I actually was thinking while I was like thinking about when I was in the gym before I threw up, I was thinking about like more names, and I was thinking like race baiters is so funny.
Okay, game over. That's it. Ding, ding, ding. I mean, because that feels like it's like masturbators also, and we're just like jerking off to like
something about it.
Our wives are going to listen to this. Maybe our parents, maybe a cousin or two, and that's pretty much it. So this is the ultimate jerk off.
Some friends.
Maybe a couple friends in the mix. It's the ultimate jerk off. There's some racial talk. It's race baiters.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, looking at the rest of my list, nothing compares to race baiters.
Okay, so that didn't make my top 5. So
okay, how about
race
baiter Ginsburg?
Okay, now you're getting too left.
I went too far. You know, like race baiter Ginsburg. That's my new MC name.
No, I do. I would like it if she was still with us.
That's at least the name I release music under. It's got to be something.
It feels like a history lesson now.
Yeah, things are getting serious.
I did not watch the doc.
No, me neither.
Okay, anyways.
Okay, wait, is it your turn or my turn? Your turn, right?
I thought it was you said you had alley oops.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. What have we been talking about? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. It's a podcast. Okay, I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna start at the bottom of the list or the top of the list. Let's just get this out of the way since we already talked about race baiters. Black Judaism.
I love that. I remember you texted me that, and immediately was like, "That's like an advanced degree you could get." Like you go to Columbia and you're getting a master's in Afro-Judaism and Afro-Judaic studies.
Right, like I'm trying to mix the two of us. I guess we should probably let people know I'm Jewish. and Matt is black. Colored.
Yeah. Not a person of color or colored.
No, yeah. Okay,
And-
okay. So I'm just crossing that out. Because I don't love it. I think it's funny, but I don't love it. Okay, you go.
All right. This one not really funny, but it's overthinking it. That's probably already
Okay.
100 podcasts. Because I thought we were
That's
okay.
the name of it.
That's the name of it, overthinking it, because we're constantly
I
overanalyzing
kinda like
situations that we find ourselves in. There's some of the interracial stuff that we deal with. There's like the comedy stuff. We're
Yeah.
just it's overanalyzing, it's overthinking, and maybe in some way we're also kind of like overthinking of it in the sense of like we're done thinking about it. We're overthinking it. We're just trying to like relax.
Double entendre.
Double entendre. Yeah.
Entendre. I love a double entendre. I'm gonna use that as a through line to get to my double entendre.
Take us there.
I got one title that's double entendre. Ready? Listen here.
I like it.
Okay.
I love it.
So
But how are
it's
we
like,
spelling here? Is here spelled like here, or is here spelled like here?
oh shit! It is spelled like the pen, like right here.
Because either
But
way,
but
it's
also
good,
am
though.
also am dyslexic, so it could be. I could have meant to put it the other way.
I love it. Listen here.
Listen here.
It kind of sounds like we're about
I
to
don't
be.
know
We're
why.
going to be doing like motivational speeches at like.
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
It's too like. It has no character, unfortunately.
But
But,
I
it is
like
a double entendre.
But it's like
Yeah.
an alternate universe in which we're like really like crunchy, like new age philosophers.
Yes.
Which
yeah,
I
like
could
like
be
it's
down
our
with.
it's you know what? It's our NPR podcast name.
Yeah, yeah. That's when we finally sell out and go
Oh my
corporate.
gosh. I wish NPR. Wait a minute. Can I just set this scene up for you real quick?
Please.
Monday Night Football. The Chiefs are up 24-17. Baker it's second and goal. Baker is on the 2-yard line with 30 seconds left in the game. He just threw a touchdown pass to white wide receiver, last name Miller. Don't know his first name. They're about to kick. 27 seconds left on the clock. They're about to kick the field goal to tie it up. This is improbable. Between Baker Mayfield and Saquon Barkley, I don't know who is having like the best like redemption story this season and last season for Baker, but like on the sense of like y'all wrote me off a long time ago.
I got to give it to Saquon with that reverse hurdle. That deserves all the love.
It's just insane.
And
It's
by
just
the
insane.
way,
Okay.
speaking of the
Yeah.
Chiefs, are they the last sports franchise with a completely fucked up name? I think they might be like the last holdout.
Nope.
Who else?
Professional.
Professional. Well, yeah, Seminoles in your neck
that's
of the
where my
woods.
mind went.
But I'm thinking, okay,
Yeah.
Washington, the Commanders, the Guardians, and it's still the Chiefs. How are they getting away with it?
But I think it's because it's not a slur and it's not a tribe.
That's true. I
I
guess
think that's the only two things. Wait a minute. I feel like there's a Canadian, the Saskatchewan, Ottawa. A lot of those Canadian hockey teams sound like they could be Indian tribes.
Oh well, that's
Native
true, and
American,
like
excuse me.
and Vancouver, the Canucks, right? That's like I know
Yes.
that's like a racial slur against Indigenous people in Canada. So I guess they're getting away
Is
with
it?
it. I think so.
Oh my gosh, this whale! They made this whale look like a Native American.
That's not right.
The Canucks
The Vancouver
logo.
the Canucks logo is like a Native American whale.
Yes, they put face paint on it, and also
That's
somehow
not
it's
right.
like slightly slanted eyes.
Can you pull up an image of it? Is that possible?
I want to. Yeah, let me see if I can put one in this.
'Cause, yeah, that's not right.
Download it.
And the Chiefs
Yeah,
could get away
I'm
with
gonna
it
put it
too,
in
because
post.
you're so right. The Chief doesn't have to be a Native American thing. They do
have the Arrowhead.
They have the Arrowhead,
And it's Arrowhead Stadium. It's Arrowhead Stadium.
They could have gotten away with it if it weren't for the everything about it.
These pesky kids.
I'm picturing some kind of like big
meddling.
reveal where someone like pulls a mask off and it's just like a really racist white guy. I guess there's
But it's also so funny because these are the people who are like they're owned by the Heinz ketchup people, and they're just
I always
like
forget
this
that.
staunchy like Christian Christian outfit that like would love to continue to have their just indigenous people. Okay, that actually be a hard name.
What?
Okay, indigenous people.
Right on.
I can't send it. I'm gonna send it to you via text. Okay,
Okay.
here's my next one.
I'm ready.
Okay, what? I downloaded it and then I don't see it. Stand by on the racist Canucks logo.
Standing
But
by.
I'm glad we did found someone else because football's taking a lot of heat. Do you hear what Hershel Walker said the other day?
No, God, no. I can't believe he's still
Bro.
saying things.
I tweeted if Hershel Walker keeps talking, they're going to ban football. And in my tweet, I misspelled something, which was I feel like telling of how much football I've played.
But wait, what did Herschel say?
You think I'm not going to download this? I'm going to download this and play it for the podcast.
We all need
for
to
the
hear
podcast
it.
audience.
I missed it.
In the meantime, in between time, you ready?
I'm ready.
Not another podcast.
I like it. I'm with it.
Right?
It's kind of cute. Lets them know.
It's just like, because that's what everyone feels when they hear that somebody is doing another one.
No doubt.
Right? Like, it's just like not another podcast.
And maybe
And also guess,
it's different.
but the acronym, Nap Boys.
Boys.
Napping,
That
baby.
definitely aligns with our vision.
Yes, the sitting on business vision.
Absolutely. That's the thing. It's in my eyes, that might still be the one to beat, but I don't know. But although race baiters is pretty good, but it might be too similar to Race Wars or Race War, whatever that podcast is called.
I know.
But maybe not.
Okay.
Because I really like it.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm about to play Hershel Walker.
I could not be more ready.
This is him at a Trump rally in Macon, Georgia. Have you been to Macon?
Never been to Macon. Never been to Georgia.
You never been to Georgia?
Never been to Georgia.
What states did your comedy send you? I felt like you'd hit everywhere by now.
I was mostly going around the Midwest and the Southwest and the Northeast, but no Southeast really. Like, went down to Florida a couple times. I remember doing a Trump impression in like 2017 in Naples, Florida, like before shit got dark. I was just like
Off the hook or
yes, off the hook. And like
love Off the Hook.
I was there, opening for dearly departed Louis Anderson, and it was my first time opening for him, and I didn't really know his stuff. I didn't know that he was like a squeaky clean comic. And 2 minutes before I go on stage, his manager is like, "You're doing a clean set, right?" And I was like, "Huh?" And so I just had to cut like 80% of my material because I was like 25 or whatever. All my stuff was, about like jerking off or whatever. And so I get up there and I'm just like doing a horrible Trump impression. This is like one of my first big like traveling gigs or whatever. And I'm just like, there's aliens and they're gonna take over unless you like. I don't even like. It was nonsense. Crashed and burned. What can you do?
mean, I would say this: your Trump has aged like fine wine because it's. I can't tell you what it was like then, but. By the way, I imagine you drove from New York there.
No car at the time. I flew down there, and I don't even remember where I was staying. But I think I probably made like $80 for the weekend, after expenses.
Yeah. I was just gonna say if you drove, you had to stop in Macon, because we stop in Macon when we drive from Louisville to Florida. Okay. Anyways, overtime rules. Okay, never mind. All right, you ready? This is
Wait, that's a good name, possibly.
That is actually a decent name.
It kind of slaps. Overtime rules.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. People should know that the first iteration of this podcast name, we thought Parlay was a good name for a podcast.
And I still think it is, but for a sports betting podcast, which is not this. Although we may talk about gambling once in a while.
But overtime rules sounds like getting back to the sports adjacent.
Yes, it's just a good name.
Podcast.
OTR. It's a good acronym. I like everything about it. All right, that's an instant skyrocketing up the leaderboard.
Okay, listen to this. This is Hershel Walker this is him ending his speech at a Trump rally in Macon, Georgia.
I can't wait.
Embarrass me in that play, isn't it?
It does seem that way. But I believe in you and the power of Riverside Studio.
I clicked the wrong thing. Let's see. Okay, here it is.
And it is time for it to stop. And it stopped on Tuesday when we get to the polls and we vote for my friend and your friend, Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump.
That is.
Let me go. No, wait. Let me play that again.
And it is time for it to stop. And it stopped on Tuesday when we get to the polls and we vote for my friend and your friend, Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump.
That is
Donald J. Trump.
It's just not at all what I was expecting for that clip. I was expecting him to say something like homophobic or like whatever, and then it was just like, dude has no idea what's going on, does he?
Just cannot articulate. He couldn't say who he was there to endorse.
And you know what the scary thing is? It was almost like a Freudian slip or something, because I bet Don Jr., I mean, he could run for president.
Like, put him up to it.
Who knows?
That's so funny.
President.
Oh, Donald my gosh.
I just also really like the way he said Tuesday. Tuesday. He's like, Tuesday.
They might have to add that to the soundboard.
Tuesday.
But get out there and vote on Tuesday. Tuesday. We don't go out there on Tuesday.
We still got the day right. That was funny, though. That was good.
Okay. So now on the pod we like. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
For this one? This is the last one here. Dad bod pod.
Bro, seeing as I need to lose about 35 pounds, I'm down. It's no longer...
Wait a minute.
Bro, you can't say that
you
it's
ain't
like...
you ain't on the Ozempic? Are you poor? What's going on?
So, dude, the Ozempic theme song or whatever, like the jingle from... Do you know it? Have you seen the Ozempic commercials?
Of course I have. What's the... I feel like I don't know the commercial.
It's just like, oh, Ozempic. And I'm like,
yes.
What? Like, I don't get the tone of these ads. It's like... That medicine is supposed to be for like people with diabetes or something, right? It's just like they're making...
but that's the thing though. It's perfect because the original song is it's magic, and it is.
That connection.
It's all just though now, right?
Of course.
It's magic.
I don't even know that song, dude. That's like...
I mean, look how slim my face is. This is months of Ozempic.
What?
Oh, I'm on the O.
Don't actually.
I'm on the O.
Bro, I can't believe it.
Oh, we'll that's another episode too, but I'm on the O, bro.
We're about to get sponsored.
My gosh, can you imagine? I mean, everyone, it's so funny because like it's a hell of a drug. Like, because like I would like see like when I was talking about, I'm talking to these like my son's friends' parents, and like I'll like see one that was like a pudgy guy, and then like 6 months later go to an event and see him. I'm like, Patrick. Did you get bumped to the 1 milligram?
Oh my God.
It is literally insane. But I was so that's the thing. When I first got out here and started seeing the doctor, I was 340.
Is that all time high?
Not yeah, because my oh shit weight used to be 333.
Yeah.
And
what was your playing?
So your
playing weight? Do you remember?
310.
And wait, just do a quick.
So like we're never small.
Do a quick one of these in case we upload this to YouTube so people can see what I mean by playing days.
Oh,
there it is,
baby. Oh,
number 99 in the trenches.
Look at that.
On the nose.
Yeah.
Smelling the center's breath.
Talking about double entendre on the nose. But
that's right.
It's like...
Ooh, wait, is that another good name? On the nose?
Shout
out to a former nose tackle and a guy with a big Jewish nose. I'm sure it might work. It's all about the nose, bro. Nose bros.
They're like, well, they're gonna come. They're like, oh, it's a black guy and a Jewish guy on the nose, and then they come. It's like that black guy's nose isn't that big. Okay. But okay,
And neither's
listen.
mine, really. It's not that big, but it's got a little hook to it.
No.
It's got a little Kareem Sky hook to it.
We will talk one day about what's available to Yes and when it comes to us making fun of our own races,
doubt.
or whatever it is we call Jewish people. I don't know. You got to teach me.
Yeah, that's a 10-episode cycle that we'll do.
Like an offshoot, like a History Channel. Listen, okay, so we have 4 names that are pending that we kind of like.
Yes.
But I don't know, like if we were to challenge ourselves to put something up brackets Tology style, March Madness style, up against Sitting on Business, I feel like I just can't just jump to conclusions, and I feel like we probably have to sleep on it and then, come back for next week and make a decision. But it's Sitting on Business versus Not Another Podcast. It's Sitting on Business versus Dad Bod Pod.
Love it.
By the way, the reason I like Dad Bod Pod, DBP
DP works.
acronyms, like we're obviously working with acronyms, like, and also like it's like we said NAP already, and Sitting on Business SOB.
Dad Bod Pod kind of sounds like Thai food.
Ooh, I had some Korean barbecue last night for the first time in a long time. Oh my gosh,
Right,
that's probably racist for me to break up. Like you just bring up Thai food, and I was like, I had this ethnic.
That happens to Seti all the time. She'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm from South Africa," and someone will be like, "That's so funny. I've been to Egypt," and I'm like, "Dude, that's the biggest continent in the world, I think, isn't it?" And like you're talking about Egypt,
like,
the opposite end.
South Africa. Yeah, that I wonder. It's like the equivalent of like I'm from Florida. It's like, oh my parents live in Canada.
Shout out
It's like,
to
I thought the North America. Yeah, I get it.
my dad actually designed that racist whale logo. I gotta see that whale. Did you send it to me? No, I don't see it.
But it didn't download yet.
All right, wait.
I mean, I'm gonna try again to download.
Wait.
As well. Okay, but anyways,
have you been taking notes? Because I have been doing a shitty job. But did we have other names that we really liked that we already forgot?
yeah,
I feel like some came
I
up like that. We
I'm
didn't
looking.
even...
I'm looking at right now. I'm feeling faint from the throwing up.
Oh my god! Let me know if you need to cut
cracking up.
Yes.
Cracking up is still.
Yes.
It's still there. Alley oops.
That one's too silly. I think. Let's cut it.
Okay.
Or you want to keep it? You want to sleep on it? We can sleep on it.
Alley oops. It does. I mean, it does lean more sports podcasts, which we're not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
But I do like the oops of it. I like the oops of it. Overthinking it, which is maybe ready for it. Too on the nose.
You like on the nose a lot. That actually might be my one of my top right now.
Okay, so you like on the. Okay, so we're doing. It's Sitting on Business versus On the Nose. Sitting on Business versus Not Another Podcast.
I like
Sitting
that
on
too.
Business versus Dad Bod Pod. Sitting on Business versus Overtime Rules.
Ooh, yeah, Overtime Rules. I forgot about that one.
I'm choosing not to say it's against. Oh my gosh, that was the last play.
Well, what happened?
Kareem Hunt ran the ball in for a 1-yard touchdown to end the game in overtime.
Wow.
After I imagine that the Bucks had to punt. Like they don't even have Pacheco, and they're still winning these games. He got in, and the game's over. They won 30-24 in overtime.
Did you see the end of the Seahawks game? They gave up like I don't even know 40-yard touchdown to lose in overtime after Geno threw a 103-yard pick six in the fourth quarter.
I did see that. And Jackson Smith and Jigba had 2 touchdowns.
That's one of my favorite names of any athlete ever.
Oh my gosh! You know what's so cool about that? He was like Jackson Smith for a very long time.
Oh really?
And then he did some heritage stuff and found out about, I'm gonna mess this up, but his Nigerian past, and he never had a real relationship with his dad, but that was his last name. But then he decided he was gonna so I'm taking everybody with me, and
I like it.
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba, but it is definitely Key and Peele style name. Probably not too much. There's a lot of first team names out there right now for college sports. Okay, and I'm just going to not mention the coloreds and race baiters right now. That would be
race
I'm
baiters.
gonna make those the new pending.
I do like it though. I do have I had two. Honestly, I had three more on the list, but I'm cutting one of them. But I will give you the last two. One of them is breaking down, which is kind of similar to overthinking it. But it's a little bit of like we're doing some analysis. We're also kind of losing our minds, whatever. But then my final one, which is an homage or a reference to one of our future segments, which is Freestyle Friends.
Freestyle Friends.
FF.
I like Freestyle Friends.
FF does not sound like a good acronym, though.
FF, I mean, sounds like a gang.
It does. F squared could work, or 2F.
Like we out here freestyle friends, baby. Actually, listen. This isn't how I wanted to end this podcast, but I'm actually about to shit myself. So this is what we have.
I'm going to reach out to you. On business.
No, I'm about to go sit on business. I'm gonna reach out to you separately from this because I do feel bad about this abrupt ending, but I like liquid diarrhea. I'm gonna download this racist logo and send it to you via text.
Perfect.
If anyone out there is interested in helping us find our name, also
let us know.
I was thinking I would throw this up in its entirety on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
To like kind of like soft launch this thing.
Soft launch it.
Why aren't you downloading to my?
Don't worry. Just go sit on business. And this was a great first episode. And please like and subscribe, everyone.
I don't think they can yet.
They can't.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Someday, please do.
Too soon. Oh, but don't. Okay. Wait a minute. I was gonna do the outro.
Don't do it at the expense of shitting yourself.
I think it might be worth it. Okay, guys. This has been Sitting on Business with Matt and Brandon. You've had a great time, and we've had a better one.
That's right.
We'll see you tomorrow. No, but I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly. We'll see. It's a daily show. You're quitting your job.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Good luck.